Hey everyone, this is Dr. Bafa, and today we're going to watch everyone's favorite technician, Guo Sing-chun. This is Guo's first training session after arriving in Tashkent, Uzbekistan for the 2020 Asian Championships, which confusingly took place in spring 2021 due to COVID, but that's beside the point. Guo had just arrived, she's 3 days out from competing, and she does basically a full power session here. Power snatch, power clean, power jerk, as well as some squats. Before getting into some of the barbell work, she had just done sort of her general warm-up, getting herself loose and mobile. If you want to see more about that, which is pretty extensive, you can check out our series on Guo, as well as some more training footage of her on both YouTube as well as on Patreon. She's going to start taking the bar here, doing a little more warming up, getting the shoulders loose. Guo, as we'll see, is very much about routine. Generally does the same or very similar full body general physical preparation warm-up before training, goes into bar movements, loosening up, doing some side-by-side work, loosening up the core, and she will soon lead into muscle snatches, which is perhaps her signature move when warming up for the snatch. But to start out, just getting everything loose, some snatch press and bottom. We've also got a video on our YouTube all about snatch press and bottom, which I think is an excellent way to warm up the hips and the shoulders and get comfortable in the overhead position. Taking the bar once more, we'll see her do some muscle snatches. Again, the muscle snatch for Guo, I think, has become kind of a signature move for her. She is very much a creature of habit and routine, and every time I've seen her do a snatch session, whether it's power snatch or full snatch, she starts with muscle snatches in some capacity. As she goes a little heavier, we'll look at some of the characteristic features of a muscle snatch and what I think is key for a successful muscle snatch, and what Guo does with them that I think is so successful. Another set with the bar here. Look at how she really stretches, gets up on the toes, and she's able to balance, not on the toes rather, but on the balls of the feet, and is able to balance at the top on the balls of her feet, which I think is crucial for success in the snatch. Goes to 35 kilos, we'll see some muscle snatches. Very much upright. And watch her again, up onto the balls of the feet, and is able to keep extending, keep pushing through the balls of the feet into the platform while lengthening her body and making herself essentially as tall as possible. 35 again. A little bit of a power snatch there. Very easy, very casual power snatch. Quick pop up with the hips, and then moves under, moves the feet out slightly, punches overhead. Goes up to 45 kilos, and very similar. Watch her very casually, how everything is working toward driving the bar up. The hips, they're coming into the bar, but it's in service of driving the bar up, shoulders driving the bar up, and she's staying very upright through that finish. 45 again. Pushing through the platform, and then hips drive the bar up, shoulders drive the bar up, catches it very upright. Slow motion, you can see this even better. Gets the knees back. Look at the feet staying flat. Weight shifts forward as she finishes onto the balls of the feet. And look at how upright that torso is. Keeping that torso upright, preventing excessive swinging of the shoulders back or too much of the hips coming forward, keeps that bar straight the entire time for Guo. Goes up to 55 kilos. And you'll see the exact same thing. Just a little pop into the hips. Bar is accelerated upwards via the hips, via the upward movement of the hips and shoulders, and pops right overhead. This is about 50% of what she did here. She did a 110 snatch here, which is her best snatch in international competition. 65 kilos. Same exact way. In addition to being a creature of routine and habit, she is also one of the most consistent athletes I think any of us have ever seen. Every lift looking like the last. Very nice rhythm too. If you look here, she's doing 55 on the left, 65 on the right, and they look essentially identical. Hips coming into the bar, but always in the service of driving up, shoulders going up, keeping the head relatively neutral the entire time, gaze focused on the exact same point the entire time as well. 75 next, she's going to do a double here. Again, watch how similar each of these reps look. Watch how everything is propelling the bar up, and once it's moving up, once she's finished that full extension, she quickly and smoothly transitions into moving under the bar. Goes to 85 kilos, and she's watching previous reps. Guo consistently will watch her reps and will then record. She records the reps she's doing, but she will watch, take that feedback from having watched, and apply it to the next rep. So here's 85 kilos. Looks nice and easy. We'll see it again in slow motion. Look at her staying over the bar. Chest up, eyes straight, flat-footed. Brings the hips into the bar. The weight starts shifting to the balls of the feet. And then the big finish. Look at where the gaze is, though. Still looking at the same spot. Torso nice and upright. And drops down to punch it overhead. Goes to 90 kilos next. This is about 82% of what she snatched at this competition. Again, she's about 3 days out right now. So about 82% of 110. 90 kilo power snatch. We've seen her do as much as 95. She's smiling, but you'll see she doesn't seem super happy with this rep. Feels a little bit like instead of catching it upright, she caught it a little forward. So she's again watching, reviewing it. Now, I think she did catch it a little bit forward. I'm trusting her, right? But we'll watch the slow motion. Everything still goes really right here. Shoulders over the bar, knees back. Brings the hips forward, everything driving that bar up, nice acceleration. Moves the feet out, and she does catch it very slightly forward, but only, I think, for Guo would that not be the right catch. It's a very small deviation, but it's not as upright as she wants to be. So look, she goes down to 75, and she's going to do a couple reps here where she catches it with that really nice upright position. That's what she's after, right there. Weight comes off, back to the bar, and she moves on to power clean and power jerk. Okay. Check out this mobility here. Not everyone is going to have that mobility, but if you can work on it, it certainly helps to have it. It's worth mentioning that Guo, despite having just gone up to 90 kilo power snatch, 82%, and doing a fair amount of general preparation warm-up and warm-up with the bar for the snatch, still goes down to the bar for the clean and jerk. So I know it's kind of a pain in the butt sometimes. You think I just snatch, I want to get to clean and jerk, but it can really be helpful. Just reinforcing those motor patterns, movement patterns, going back down to the bar, and starting to warm up again for the clean and jerk. 35 kilos, nice, easy, clean. Bar leaps to the chest. And then the power jerk, you'll see the same. Little dip, and then drives it overhead. We'll talk about Guo's dip a little more as we keep moving on. Right now, I'm watching another 35 kilos, very easy. One clean, she'll go into 2 jerks right now. Very upright the whole time, just like in the snatch. Very upright in the clean, very upright in the dip and drive with the jerk. Goes up to 45 kilos next. Nice, easy, clean. Dip, punch overhead. Guo really makes it look effortless. I know this is only 45 kilos, but I challenge you to find more athletes who can make weights at 45 and any weight essentially look this effortless, this flowing, this smooth. And she talks a little bit about this is what she's after in her training. Lifting beautifully, making it look beautiful and aesthetically pleasing. And I'd say she succeeds on all of those fronts. 65 kilos, goes up to 75 kilos. Bar pops right up to the chest and shoulders, quick turn of the elbows, and then dip and punch. 85 kilos. Watch her dip here. Some athletes use a very quick, short, explosive dip. Guo does, and this is 95 kilos, a slower dip, but the change of direction and the drive are quick. Here it is in slow motion. Again, a lot of the tenets of the snatch apply here to the clean as well. Shoulders over the bar, knees back, staying flat-footed until she shifts the weight to the front of the foot. Stays upright the entire time. Quick turn of the elbows, and look at how she meets the bar perfectly. And then watch her dip. Again, it's not a super quick dip, and it's maybe a little longer than somebody like Lydia, for example, who's a very quick, short dip. Guo shows you can do a nice slower dip if you want, relatively slower, as long as you change direction quickly and drive forcefully. Dip speed can work slow and fast. 105 kilos now. Nice easy power clean. And punch overhead. Watching, reviewing the lifting, seeing what she likes and doesn't like. This is her top set here. She goes to 115 kilos, gets the belt out. This is about 84% of 137, which is what she clean and jerked at this competition. Right elbow, maybe a tiny bit soft. She's smiling. She probably knows it. She'll watch the video and review it. We can watch it in slow motion. Everything the same as before. Watch the head, neutral gaze, looking up maybe just slightly. Once again, hips come into the bar and then propel the bar up. Drives the shoulders up, doesn't excessively move the shoulders back, so there's no looping or swinging of the bar. And then meets the bar to bring it on the catch it on the shoulders. Nice controlled dip, maybe a little bit faster. And then quick change in direction and drive and explode up onto the balls of the feet. The feet hit. She keeps moving under, driving herself under, and then punches overhead. Just a tiny bit of softness in that right arm. Certainly better than any of my jerks ever. At this point, she decides to move on. Everything comes off. She's going to go on to squat. Guo's best power clean, it's worth mentioning, is 130 kilos, which is remarkable. If you want to hear more about that and see some more heavy power cleans, again, check out our series on Guo, as well as some of the training we've posted to our Patreon page. Guo here, even though she has just done power snatch up to 82-ish%, power clean and power jerk up to 82 to 84-ish%, depending on what her max was projected at here, is still going back down to the bar to warm up. I think whatever your warm up is, the key to warming up is doing the movement that you plan to actually lift. And starting with the bar is good practice wherever you are in the training phase or in your general training overall. Did a little bit with 55, goes up to 75. What's interesting is she's 3 days out, so relatively close to the competition, but she does go to kind of what I would consider a heavier single. Not an all-out max single, not a PR certainly, but what I think would be sort of a heavier single than we might expect from some athletes this close to competition day. 95 for a triple. 115. She's still doing triples. So the other thing to think about is that even, she's going sort of heavy, but also doing triples to me seems like maybe a little more than most athletes might do this close to a competition. But Guo is used to a fair amount of volume. Watching her train, we get a sense that she does a lot of reps moving up through her warm-ups, does a lot of reps in training. In training will also sometimes come off a set and come off a top set and do down sets. So she's used to handling this kind of volume and is often doing it in addition to heavier loads, so more intense training. Goes up to 155, and again, still doing a triple, but also a very casual triple, I'd say. Next, She takes the bar to 170 kilos, indicating she's just going to be doing a single here. You'll see it's a pretty casual, pretty strong single. And then she's going to go to 175 kilos. So this is her top set. For the day at least, her best back squat is quite a bit more than this. 191, I think, or thereabouts. And honestly, I think that might look a little easier even than the 170 she just did previously. A little dramatic after that lift. Guo, despite all the volume, despite the seriousness, the consistency, also has a lot of fun in training. And you can see her sort of making faces, doing certain, not quite dances, but maybe dancing a little bit. She, despite saying in one of our interviews that she doesn't really like weightlifting all that much, does seem to be enjoying herself when she's training. Drops down to 140 kilos and does a casual triple here. And that's the end of her training. Power snatch, power clean, power jerk, and some squats, and she calls it a day. Thanks everyone for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this video of Guo Xingchun getting in some training at the 2020 Asian Championships. If you like this, consider heading over to Patreon and becoming a supporter, where there's tons more footage of Guo as well as lots of other top athletes. Thanks to all our current supporters, and we'll see you next time.